Hey, thanks for calling me back. Appreciate it. Let me step away for a sec here so I don't annoy my coworkers. All right, should be good.
All right.
Did you listen to the message, or should I
listen to the message? I have seen some of the stuff you sent to the officer.
Uh-huh.
And I have seen the video.
Mm-hmm.
And we can certainly talk about it, but I think we're going to just end up disagreeing about what the video shows and what it can prove beyond a reasonable doubt.
Okay. In what sense?
What was that last part?
In what sense? I mean, the person yelled at me. He clearly knew I was there, and he clearly drove into me.
And I guess I disagree that that's what the video shows.
How so? I mean, what is your interpretation of what happened there?
Well, I don't know that I know entirely what happened in that situation.
It pretty clearly shows me riding west on University, legally. And then
everything that you're going to say.
Right.
But we're just going to go back and forth about what you see in the video and what I see in the video.
So, based on even hypotheticals in that video, what would justify his behavior in that situation?
Again, it's not justifying his behavior. It's what I can prove to a jury beyond a reasonable doubt.
Can you prove that he moved into my lane without securing that it was empty? That's reckless driving. Like, how can you not prove that to a jury? It's shown in the video.
Well, it's shown in the video him coming over into the lane.
The lane I'm currently occupying. So at the very least, he did not yield.
I can't prove what he knew or didn't know at that point.
He swore at me. He looked at me and swore at me. How does he not know I'm there?
Well, he looked and swore at you after.
No, he says get the fuck out of the road as he is driving into my lane.
Well, that I don't see on the video.
Well, you might want to observe it again because that is very clear. He is looking at me and swearing at me as he is riding into me. Besides which, even if he wasn't aware of me, it's his fault for not being aware of me. That's reckless or at least incautious driving, which is a misdemeanor. At the very least, he very clearly violated the 3-foot rule and should be getting ticketed.
And we, we're just going to disagree about what the video shows.
I mean, what do you think it shows? Because I see several violations of law that are very clear without even intent. He's required to determine whether there's a car or a bike there. If he did not do that, he is in negligence.
And there's a difference between negligence and...
Both are prosecutable. You don't have to prosecute it as second-degree assault, which it was, but you don't have to prosecute it that way. You don't need intent. He still drove into a lane occupied by another vehicle, struck that vehicle, and then drove off afterwards. He has an obligation to stop, determine whether there was injury or damage. That's hit and run. He knew that he struck me because he spoke to me, and he heard me hit the car.
And again, we can discuss this all we want, but I've seen the video. I do not think there's evidence there that I can prove beyond a reasonable doubt.
What is it? Do you think you can prove that he violated the 3-foot rule?
I guess I'd have to look at the video again to see that.
Please do that. Can you prove that he moved into a lane that was not empty?
Again, I don't know that I think that's the full standard.
Well, it certainly is not legal to do that. Would you say that?
It might be negligence. Whether or not it's against the law is a different question.
So it's certainly illegal to do that. You can't just drive your vehicle.
Well, again, I'm not going to sit here and debate this with you all afternoon.
I mean, it's going to the media either way. I don't understand why you...
Perfectly fine. You can absolutely do that.
But I just don't understand why you wouldn't pursue someone who very clearly is going to do this again before someone gets killed or maimed. Like, why would you not at least have a conversation with the person?
Something. Question.
What's that?
When did you start videotaping this encounter?
Several blocks back.
And why didn't you give that to us?
Because I trimmed it for size reasons. It was also wholly unnecessary.
Well, again...
What would have been shown previous to this?
We don't know.
What would have been shown previous to this? I didn't see him until...
I don't have any idea what was shown previous, but I don't know what led up to this. I don't know what went on before this.
Why is it relevant? Why is it relevant?
Why is it
he drove his vehicle into me.
Well, again, I don't
and
know.
And then he drove off.
What the video shows.
Either way, he drove off. That's illegal.
Well, it's illegal if there was a hit.
Yeah, there was.
But you just said earlier that you hit the vehicle.
No, I said the vehicle struck me.
It's not exactly what you said. You said you hit the vehicle.
When my body hit the vehicle.
I'm not going to debate this with you all afternoon.
You're a public servant. Why aren't you serving the public?
I am absolutely serving the cause of justice. That is my obligation.
You just said that if there's any contact between vehicles, he has to stop, actually. That's the way the law is written, first of all.
I understand what the law is. I'm
right.
not going to debate this with you all afternoon.
So he struck me, or I struck him.
Contact whoever you
Either way, he is obligated to stop and check that I'm okay. Do you disagree with that? Do you disagree with that?
I'm not going to debate.
Do you disagree that he has an obligation under the law?
Again, absent anything productive.
No, I'm just asking you a question. Does he have an obligation to stop and check that I'm okay?
You about this case.
You haven't answered this question.
And again, I don't feel it's necessary for me to answer the question.
Well, you say that there's no observable, prosecutable crime occurring, and this is directly relevant to that question, which is, does he have an obligation to stop and check that I'm okay?
The video doesn't show the car hitting you.
It doesn't matter.
Well, again, I can only prove what I can prove.
Did he drive off?
Did the video... Again, I'm not going to debate this with you. We can argue back and forth. I've seen the video. I've seen what I think the video shows I can prove.
So you're not going to pursue the 3-foot rule?
I said I will look at the video again. I will look at the video again.
Okay. And you will not pursue reckless or negligent driving?
Based on what I have seen so far, I'm not going to pursue a careless driving, reckless driving.
All right. All right. Well, I do not appreciate your service, unfortunately, but thank you for at least having a conversation with me.
All right. Have a good day.